What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Blerdkast Live, and happy International Women's Month. How is everybody doing today?
Doing great.
That is good. That is good. Today we have another amazing episode for you all. But before we begin, if you have not, please leave a like on this video. Please subscribe to Moana Nui and Blerdography and become a channel member so you can help support Blerdography's journey to BlerdCon 2026, which is this weekend. So if you have not, please go ahead and do your dividends. But before we begin the show, I have to have a moment of joy with Miss Joy Stevens. How are you doing today?
I am doing well, doing good, doing great. How are you?
I'm tired. I'm on vacation. Let's get this started.
Are you tired and on vacation?
Because it just started, so I've been working all day, and this is it's time to relax time.
Okay, we got fans in the house. Hello from Australia. Love it. So my name is Joy Stevens. I am the co-host of a whole lot of podcasts on Moana Nui and on Blerdography. Usually if it's something in nerdy spaces, you're going to see me here with Marc. Otherwise, you can catch me most other nights of the week, either doing Moana Nui presents What You're Watching. Sometimes I sneak into the sports show, even though I don't know sports. I just be in there to stir up trouble. And I am the host of Thistory, which is a radical history podcast that we do. We try to give you stories of badasses throughout the centuries. And Thursday nights, political podcast, Steel Sharp and Steel. If you like your politics with a side of like ratchet sass, come check us out. Now, that being said, I want to quit talking about myself and start talking about our illustrious panelists. And I'm going to start. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to ask you all just to introduce yourselves. So, Kimmiko, you are first.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Kimmiko. I've been a gamer since I was a wee little one. What was that called? The Collie? I used to think it was Atari, but it's called like the
ColecoVision.
ColecoVision, yeah, that's what we used to have. So what? Centipede all the way through. Became like an arcade lover and just finally went into PC, and now I'm just like PC master race. But yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about all of the video games that you play because I'm a gamer myself, so we're gonna see, what we have in common, what we've been through. Next, I want to move over to Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie Byrd, and most of what I do is I'm a mom to 3 nerdy boys. 2 are grown-ups; they're 25 and 22, and then 1 is 12. So I still am hanging on to him. And I also am a nanny, and I write grants, and I'm going to be training to be a doula in the next couple weeks. So all the new exciting things for me. I also volunteer at MomoCon in the media relations department and have for now, this is 11 years, so a long time.
Wow. Okay, I've seen Julie on that Con Life episode. Okay. Okay, so yeah, welcome back. And last but definitely not least, we have, is it Manda or Manda?
Manda.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Manda. I volunteer and work with a lot of different conventions. I play a lot of video games, been doing that since, I think my first system was probably the Atari. We got it at a garage sale. Now I'm contemplating Switch 2 for Pokemon. But yeah, I do a lot of different nerdy things, even within like the industry that I work in, animal care. So that's also very nerdy, depending on who you meet. But yeah, I'm just happy to be here. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. We are very happy to have you. And tonight's topic is women in nerdy spaces. So I want to talk about all the things, the pros, the cons, the ins and outs, what you're doing. Hey, loving it. I love the fandom. That's what's up. And if there's anything you're working on, anything you want to talk about, but I want to start with, your origin story. So what got you into the nerdy things that you've mentioned? I've heard video games, I've heard cons, etc. How did you get started? Well, there's that.
Well, I definitely wanted to mention that I had a lot of uncles and I had majority Then I had a dad and a brother. And, when we were younger, you had to think about what to do together. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that they were able to do was buy, consoles and things like that. So my dad, honestly, I think on the split, he was already nerdy because he had comic books. He had like the original Wolverine and all that stuff. He had like a whole bunch of, he was into Star Trek, Star Wars, and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of good stuff. So, like, it was sort of like embraced upon me as I was growing up in the household, enjoying just video games and different fandoms.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, your dad was a total nerd. He may not have seen it that way, but we absolutely would have welcomed him into the fold. And so you a nerd by birth. Yeah. Okay. Amanda, what about you?
My dad was also for, I'm spoiled by my dad, and so
Good.
he just saw this video game system at a yard sale because that's what we did. Brought it home. I had it on my black and white, huge, giant TV in my room, and there we go. Like Kimmiko, I had 6 brothers growing up, so a lot of things happening. Mostly boys in my neighborhood, and luckily the few girls that I was in Girl Scouts with also little nerds too. So that's great. But yeah, just growing up in that space, marching band, lots of nerds there. So I've just always been fortunate to be in nerd spaces and really not care, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably some neurodivergence there that I just don't. Okay.
You know what? The more I learn about neurodivergence, the more I think everybody got a something. And
Oh yeah.
even the people that think they don't have anything, it's just a different thing that we haven't given a name to yet. They got something.
There's a lot of moments with my friends. I'm like, nope, that's your sign right there.
Yep. Yep. I didn't give my own background. So yeah, I started off with Atari 2600. Actually, I started with a Commodore 64 computer, and we had the Ghostbusters game. It was a broken game. I didn't know how to play it, but we and my sister tried to play it every day. We just went around, like, I think, sucking up ghosts and buying extra stuff for the car. So it was like an RPG, I guess. It was terrible. But we bought that. And then we had an Atari 2600. My dad got a ColecoVision as well. And it makes it sound like we had a lot of money, but we didn't. We lived in a neighborhood where people would give you things for cash. So we got a ColecoVision off somebody that was hawking one. And then I kind of laid out of video games for a while, and I jumped back in with Sega Genesis and Mortal Kombat in the arcades and stuff like that. And so I want to talk about that in a second, but we got to get back around to Julie. So how did you get into your nerdy stuff?
Well, when I was younger, we actually had the Atari 800 that was also the computer, and you could program it to do stuff. And I would always be programming it to do little cars driving across the thing, and then you could play like Frogger and Miss Pac-Man. And to be honest, that's probably the last time I really enjoyed. No, that's not true. One of the last times I really enjoyed video games. After that, we did have the Nintendo, and I liked Mario a lot. My brother's 4 years younger, and he really enjoyed games. So I most of the time sat around watching him play.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up marrying a man who was into video games and all that. And so I learned from him. And then my boys were always into whatever games they could play. I started doing MomoCon because I was offered, if I came and volunteered, they're like, well, let your boys come for free. I'm like, I'm in, I'm there. And then when I got there, I was like, this is really fun for me. I love this. So, and then I originally did Dragon Con when I was in my 20s, when it was still July 4th weekend, and which was a long time ago. And all I remember much about that was my best friend and I just running around acting crazy and sleeping in the hotels on the couches and stuff like we weren't supposed to. Don't do that now, kids. But that was my start of that. But then I didn't know about bringing my kids and all that until they got a little older. So once they were 5 and 8, that was it. I was back in, and the end.
Okay, cool. Well, so as a volunteer for MomoCon, what kind of things do they have volunteers doing? A day in the life, if you will.
A day in life. Well, for me, what I do is I mostly handle the press room. because I talk too much to be in the press conference room. Dana will tell you that's the truth. That's why she moved me. and but I really enjoy like talking to all the reporters. I check people in, make sure they have snacks, make sure they know where they're going. If they need anything, if I can get it for them, I will. Stuff like that.
Okay.
And then my middle son also volunteers with the Gundams. So he likes to build the little creatures and stuff. And so that's what he does, is help people do that. So those are the two areas I know the most about.
Okay. Very
I
cool.
want to chime in a little bit. Julie, you are underselling yourself. You are one reason why we press outlets at MomoCon are so spoiled and pampered when we come to MomoCon. You do more than just help the press outlets. You treat us like we're your own children sometimes. Like, you have literally put food in my hand and forced me to eat when you saw me at my worst. So without you, MomoCon wouldn't be the experience. So don't undersell yourself.
Oh, thank you. That was really sweet.
I have to say, I gotta agree with Mark. I knew your name before I met you.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was like, have you seen Julie? Well, Julie's the one that would know that. You need to find Julie. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're already legendary.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the old TV show? Norm. Everybody knows your name. Cheers. That's the show.
Cheers. Yep. There you go. I'll take it.
And so, Manda, I heard you say that you got your console, your gaming console from like, did you say like a?
My dad probably got it from a yard sale. The first one,
sale.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking about like the date bands here, because I know I got mine from the store, so it was new. No shade. I'm just saying you're probably several years younger than.
Well, I'm actually super excited. I'm the same age as Dragon Con, so they're celebrating their 40th this year. I also am celebrating my 40th as of last month. So
Yay.
Happy birthday!
I'm so excited to see what all they're gonna do this year for the 40th year.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's exciting.
I know finding an Atari at a yard sale these days would be a super, super big find. And whoever mentioned that their dad had like the original Wolverine, if he still has that, that's like a whole college tuition. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely worth holding on to if you still have it. Yeah, and welcome to the 40 Club. I have now graduated to the 50 Club, but 40s was fun. 40s was a lot of fun. So
I'm excited.
Look forward to it. You're starting to get into the era of I don't give a damn, and I have adult money.
I've been there.
Yeah. So let's talk about this thing about being a woman in spaces that, like I heard mentioned, my brothers, my father, I have sons, etc., that are into this stuff. But yeah, you find it interesting and you're into it as well. And I would almost hazard to say that if given the exposure, you would have been into it without, a son or a brother or father, whatever, being also being a nerd. Because I got mine honest. Like, my parents were not. My dad used to hunt and fish. He was that Texas country bumpkin. And he used to try to take us fishing. And I would go out on the boat with them and just read a book all day because I didn't want to be out there. We were very different people. But I still found myself, I ended up getting into video games because we lived in a neighborhood that my parents were convinced was bad. I never saw it, but then I was a child. So when I couldn't go outside, which was most of the time, I'd be in harassing my parents for stuff. And then they found Atari and was like, here, shut up. And I've been playing video games ever since, for the most part. But I do remember when I started going into the arcades, it was me and like maybe one other girl on the other side of the room and all dudes with quarters stacked up, to play Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or what have you. And they always looked at me like, why are you here? And I look at them like, you just have no idea. You about to get whooped. And matter of fact, even right now, my tagline on like PlayStation, my avatar says, you got beat by a girl. Because I need you to feel that humiliation. It shouldn't be humiliated. I'm just another human. But the question I have is, what has been some of the most interesting or fun things that you've done, especially like around volunteering for MomoCon, or one of your favorite games that you had, or movies, comic books? Like, what's your tiny obsession?
I think my favorite thing has been cosplaying, actually,
Mm.
because I grew up in a very religious household, and we were not really allowed to do Halloween and whatnot, but I did it myself anyway. And I made costumes for my brother and for me, and I've just always wanted to do that stuff. But when I was younger, I was a lot heavier, and I was always scared to, cosplay when I was heavier, which I know is silly. I get that now. But um, so once I was old enough and a grown up and could do my own thing, then that's when I started doing that. And that's been some of my favorite parts of being a girl and getting to play dress up all the time on a whole 4-day event. That's the best.
Nice. What kind of cosplay have you done?
Well, my favorite one I do is Scarlet Witch, like the old school one with the bright red outfit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And my other favorite, my dream one that I finally did right when I turned 50 was Princess Leia, like the slave Princess Leia. A
Oh
friend of
yeah,
mine
with the
crocheted the
metal
whole.
thing. Oh no.
Yeah, so I got to do that, and it was a crocheted version of it, so it was really, really cool. But that was my favorite one I ever did, and I felt the coolest when I did that. But it was a great way to celebrate 50 to be able to be Princess Leia.
That's wonderful. I love it. I love it. You got a suggestion in the chat that you would make an awesome Miss Frizzle from the Magic School.
Do you know what? I have been told that a lot of times, and I used to be a Montessori teacher, and my students used to call me that.
It's right there for you.
Yes, I just don't have the dress yet. I need to get the dress, and then I can do it.
Mm-hmm. We've got some connections, from other people. B. Cunningham comes to mind. She's a cosplayer, and she's commissioning. I commissioned her for a costume for Dragon Con this year. I wanted to do a custom made Rogue outfit.
Oh my goodness!
Because I did Rogue once before, but it was like a cheap Amazon thing, and the zipper broke halfway through the day, so I had to keep the jacket on. It was a mess, and so I want something that actually fits me. But she does great costuming. Like, she's won awards. She's good.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Kimmiko, Manda, what about you all? What's something that keeps you coming back to this nerdy stuff?
Oh, I'm obsessed with socializing with nerds.
Socializing.
So yeah, let's start off with arcades. Arcades was when I actually got to beat other players outside of my brother.
Right. The arcade,
right?
you can like really test yourself, right?
Yeah. So just like you were saying, like, I wasn't just doing the fighting games. I was doing Rush 2049, racing against people. I was playing Time Crisis, and I was just showing off how many coins I still had on my coin stack because I didn't spend as much money because I was that good.
You were good.
Or,
I failed the Time Crisis over and over again.
Nah, it got to the point it only took me like $1.50 to go through the whole game. I was like, yeah. Just showing off. And then, of course, Soul Calibur, when Soul Calibur 3 came out, that was my little obsession.
Yes.
And then, as, you get older, you start getting jobs, and now you're doing other things. So I wound up working at, like, I forgot the name of the store, but it was one of the Wizards of the Coast first retail stores. And then EB Games. But then... what happened? There was something that happened. Then PC gaming came into my life. And oh boy, during college, that game World of Warcraft
has ruined and gained many lives.
It was great because it kept me in one place. I was like, go to school, play World of Warcraft, go to school. And then they had trading and auctions and fighting, and then it was coordinated fightings, and I'm learning about like all the stuff that you learn from D&D, like the AoEs and all that stuff. And so it was great. And then eventually, as I transitioned from that, I started not having enough time for long MMORPGs. So then I got obsessed with first-person shooters because it was like, oh man, I think it took me like 2 years before I got to it. But my first was like, try Left 4 Dead 2. And I was like, yes. Because it's zombies. So I had no problems with killing zombies and stuff. So I was like, pow, pow. And then I got obsessed. And then I found out there was like this, they called them mall rats. So there was like a
Mall rats.
survival competitive play, and then there was PvP competitive. And then
Okay.
afterwards, um, it just, the different genres of games from Minecraft to open world games that were
Mhm.
survival, like Daisy, Rust, all those games started coming into play. And every time I got more into these games, I started getting into the world building part. And I'm like, ooh, we can mod this, we can add worlds to it.
Oh, so you
And
used to do
so,
modding and stuff. I never did modding. Cool.
well, yeah, for Rust, I did a lot because the mods, I was part of a team, so they kind of like showed me how to do a lot of it. And then also for Minecraft, I did mods. But it was really cool to just start like building like an NPC area for people to play or some safe areas for people to interact. And so I was like kind of feeling like I was playing Sims and being God, but there's real people
I
and
mean, you
watching
were.
them, and
Yeah, you-
watching them, interact. Yeah.
Did you ever think about going into like video game design or anything like that?
I wanted to. I wanted to. I went to school for computer programming, but it was not the kind that I wanted. It
Mm.
wasn't game design or nothing. But um, all that stuff that they teach you is totally outdated, anyways. But
Mm.
yeah, but I did self learn a lot, so I know, for modding, I learned Unity, but from right now, it's like I'm kind of getting into Unreal, because Unreal
Uh-huh.
5 just was like a total new like world of fun. They added so many other softwares together to make it, a little easier to code. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Amanda, what about you?
I'm gonna have to agree. It's really just the people. I do a lot of different nerd things. I'm also a musician. I've been playing my saxophone since middle school. I still play in a weekly ensemble. I help. I'm a field director for marching band. Pretty nerdy.
That is
A
so
lot of
cool.
those kids are also nerds,
Mhm.
so I get to hang
Mhm.
out with them and learn all the cool lingo. And like, I saw one of them playing Final Fantasy 3/6. I was like, oh, y'all still do that? Okay, good. The kids are all good. They're gonna be okay, guys. They're in good hands. Um, when I work with the different conventions I work with, it's always something like, oh, like I'm also a fan of this. We can talk about this. And now are we best friends? Yeah, sure. Let's be best friends. Um, in my day-to-day life, like I'll be wearing a shirt, like, or something like, oh, I like
Mhm.
that. And people are, and around in my own little social circles, a lot of people are like, oh, you're a nerd. You should go talk to Manda. She does Dragon Con, MomoCon, anything nerdy. So I game online. I'm actually my friend is talking to me about the new World of Warcraft, trying to get me on board for that. Um, I do RP for a couple of video games, Project Zomboid. I was just involved in a big server with that. Did some Red Dead Redemption 2 role play. To just I can find joy in anything. So if there's something that you like that you need an extra player for, I will give it.
I love it.
I'll give the old college try, and then I'll hyper focus on it. So at your own risk, invite me.
That's how I got into shooters because I used to be what do you call it, single player person. I was all the Final Fantasies. Not all of it. I started with like I am Sony's demographic even still because when the Sony PlayStation came out and then they came out with Final Fantasy 7. Now that was already 7, but
Mhm.
like I saw the commercial with like Cloud jumping on a train and I was sold. And I put 100 hours into that game because I was convinced that if I just did the right thing, Aerith would still be alive and I'm still hurt.
I just did the first playthrough of that on my Twitch, and I was like, not because I had been not spoil free forever.
Hmm.
And my friend was like, "Oh, you should really play this game. I think you'll like it." And I'm like, "Why would you do this to me?"
It's such a good game though. And now
It
you're like,
is beautiful.
it is, yeah. And you get all the references like with Sephiroth and Cloud and all the other games that they've been in. So the other thing that's going to happen to you all as you push towards your 50s. You just got to 40, so you got plenty of time. But when you get to 50, there's a dragon waiting for you, and it's called menopause. And the menopause dragon will rob you of all thought, because I forgot what I was about to say about my gaming experience, etc. It was gone. Like halfway through my statement, I lost it. And that'll happen. And the cool thing is I just roll with it like, hey, menopause. I forgot what I was about to say. I have no idea. So I will move on to a different thing, because I don't know if it's ever coming back. But how has it been for you trying to balance, like y'all all have very busy lives. You have kids, you have family, you have jobs, etc. But my guess is you're still into like the nerdy things, still playing video games, still volunteering for the cons is a whole full-time job for the entire time that the con is going on, plus like weeks before and a week after. So how do y'all find time to still have fun? Anybody?
For me, gaming is life, nerdom, everything. This is all life. So as you can see, I'm the founder of Atlanta Gamer Life, and how that quickly started was I moved back to Atlanta, and I had just went through an ugly divorce, grown up stuff, and I was like, you know what? I want to interact with people without the need to feel like I got to date. I just want to meet cool people. So I created a meetup.com group called Atlanta Gamer Life. And of course, we went to Battle and Byrd. First one had 3 people. Second one had like over 20. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And it just slowly started growing. And as I started meeting people, we played games online. We meet up in person to a location. And usually I try to find, like, some people were first asking, why don't I do, like, house parties? But because of my premises of wanting a safe location, what I do is I check out, like, local places that are pretty cool that I think we would feel safe in. And, I say, hey, let's check it out, whether it be a food place or a gaming spot, like challenges.
I was just gonna say.
I'll like be like, hey, let's go to Soul Play on this day for this event. And if there's no events created, I'll actually, now that I've moved forward and up and more experience, I actually create more events catered to gaming. But the thing that's been popping the most, ironically, is the nerd dating scene.
Really? I mean, I'm surprised but
Yes.
not surprised. So tell me about the nerd dating scene. What's happening there?
Now, I first got to give shout outs to 1v1 in real life dating, because that's who kind of recruited me. They're like, yo, you always have a lot of people that come to your events. How about dating? And I'm like, dating? Nerds dating? Okay, I can feel that. Because technically, I actually, the guy that I married, I met him on World of Warcraft. He was my tank paladin, and I was his disc priest. And back in the days, if y'all know about tanks and priests, they were 1-on-1. So we just meshed well together.
That's
And
awesome.
they had a thing with Battle and Brew, and so they were like, hey, let's just do your thing. And what happened was we created a safe space for nerds to come together and just really socialize and break the ice. And if anything sparks, it's not required for you to go. But after a couple drinks and, you guys play a couple games, we did a series of board games, video games, and karaoke. And so that really has been a great thing. And so as I moved on and started doing other ones, there's also another group called Picture Friend. So it's a game show where you have your wingman with you. And
It's a
your
real game
wingman is
show,
it's like it's a dating thing
and it's
that
called
you go to.
Get Your Friend.
Yeah, I actually have one coming up March 27th at Soul Play. But basically, what you do is you have your wingman. And your wingman makes a 2 to 3 minute presentation, an actual presentation of this is why you should date them.
Ah,
Gosh,
so
that's
you're
awesome.
really like pitching your friend, like
Yeah,
you
you're
should date
like
the person I
this.
brought. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I got onto that project because I thought it was kind of fun to figure a way because the dating single mixers does really well, but sometimes they're like, yo, we need speed dating, we need this, we need that. So I was like, okay, this one would be fun to try. And then with everything that I said just now, one thing that I noticed as I was meeting more people at the meetups and at the mixers is that they're either new to Atlanta or they don't know what to do and what's safe or what's cool. So I went to this accelerator called Start Me. That's a business accelerator made by Emory's School of Business,
Mhm.
and they cater to micro businesses. And what I learned was I was like, okay, so I'm going to make a magazine that will show people like what kind of things that are going on in Atlanta, what to do, and also like showcase some of the actual content creators here. Like, for instance, Marc Leary. He was one of the first ones that actually submitted in a really long but amazing article in the
I
in
believe you.
it.
I believe
So
that. Mhm.
if you want to check it out, if you go to atlantagamerlife.com, give it a second to load. The first magazine is on there digitally, and it's free. But the thing about this is that it really pulled a lot of things from like the experiences I had, like from cons, because I know you ladies were talking about that you guys volunteer in a lot of cons. I too volunteer through a lot of cons as well, so
Okay.
it's like a wonderful journey.
Are any of y'all going to Blerdkast this weekend?
I
Besides
I
wish.
you.
am not.
Besides Mark.
I
Okay, and
wanted
then
to.
well, if you're not going to DC, you mentioned Challenges Games earlier, and Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo is 2 weeks out. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. The Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo. Yes, that is 2 weeks out. It is actually Saturday and Sunday, and it's got. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wound up becoming co-director and been curating a lot of things just to make sure we stay really close to what the original like founders
Mhm.
we're envisioning. So number one, Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo is free to the public. Like no one has to pay. It's in the mall of North. It's in North Lake Mall, and what we have going on in there is we have over like 20 plus indie comic book writers type
Mhm.
of vendors. So I feel like I should market it as a book fair. But we also have tournaments like Magic the Gathering, Warhammer, and Hero Clicks. But we also have, just to make the feel of what a con is, we rented out this place, which we were calling the Gallery. It's a big area that used to be the one of the science museums, and
Still in
it
North Lake North?
has yeah. And so it basically we're going to have 3 panel rooms
Mhm.
and a media room. The media room is going to have a podcast as well as a D&D show in there, but all the panels um, have like basically we have 3 main tracks: the indie Arthur track, the Phantom track, and the Steam track. So if someone wants to learn how to make video games, build them, we have that track for you to check out. If you're into, fandom like Marvel, DC, we got that track. And then for uh, the indie Arthur track, it has a lot of workshops in talking about how to create your character, how to world build, and got a couple like key features that's going to be there. In addition to that, we got open gaming, video gaming, and I guess the featured is a fashion show as well as a game show called this is called Trust Me, I'm a Doctor. So
I want to play that.
So what happened is I have a couple of voiceover actors, including Bob Carter. He doesn't know he's a part of it yet, but he's going to be. Okay. So Bob Carter is going to be a doctor in the 1800s using a particular voice, and you got to convince the patient that you're a doctor. You should do their treatment.
Okay, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. So, I will be at the Sci-Fi Expo as well. Matter of fact, the Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo last year was like, I don't want to say life-changing, that's too strong of a word, but I met my tattoo artist there last year. I've gotten to.
Oh, Dan?
Yeah, Dan Flores did this. He did my Yin Yang Tigers. And
wait, you got to go closer. We got to see it. Come on, show. Really slow. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, Dan's the man for real. And yeah, he told me, he was like, I don't really do tattoos a whole lot anymore, so don't be telling everybody. And I told everybody because it's so cute and it's so cool. I got this, and I got a dragon like across a C-section scar on my stomach. He did the whole thing. And I met him by accident at Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo last year because he was putting out stickers of his artwork. And I didn't know that was his stuff. He was just kind of standing there, and I was like, "Oh, these stickers are cool. I'm stealing them." And he was like, "Oh, take them." And I was like, "Really? It's okay if I take them?" He goes, "Yeah, they're mine." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I wasn't really going to steal them. He goes, "Yeah, you were." I said, "Yeah, okay, I was." So we had this whole conversation. I met Hotep from Black Lion and Cubs.
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing is, I went to college with Hotep. And so when I walked past him at the Sci-Fi Expo last year, I was like, "Oh, I know you." And he's like, "Joy." I was like, "Oh God, I done forgot you."
Oh, wow.
It's been 30 years.
Awesome. Wait, what high school did y'all go to?
Oh, college. He was at Morehouse when I was a Spelman. Yeah, 30 years ago was college. Yeah. Because I'm 52. But
me too.
There you go. Yeah, 50's in the house.
Yes.
And he's so we ended up, reconnecting and all that kind of stuff. And I was watching the way he was moving with his his app and his anime and the manga that he's created and everything. And actually, me and Marc ended up shooting kind of like a promo intro for some of his stuff. He's still working on whether it's good enough for him to use it or not. But yeah, so all of this happened because I went to the Sci-Fi Expo last year. So if you are watching and listening, you need to go to the free Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo because it could change your life. So there's my commercial. And I feel like I'm not being a good host, so I want to just jump around. There was a question in the comments that said, if you weren't doing nerd stuff, what would you be doing? And I'm going to push this to Manda and Julie.
Do you want me to go first, Manda?
Yeah, you can go first. I'm still trying to think what is not nerd.
I would be doing fashion. That is something I adore. I collect vintage clothes. I'm always putting stuff together for people. I think that's what I would be doing. But I guess that's kind of part of being nerdy also, because you got to wear the right outfit to the con. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think for cosplay goes right along with fashion, because what is couture other than fancy cosplay, right?
Exactly. I like that. I'm going to use that.
Mm-hmm. And do you sew?
Unfortunately, no, but I know enough people that I can pay to sew.
There you go.
And my ex-husband can sew a little bit. So if I just need something fixed, he'll do that for me.
Nice. Because I was going to say, if you can sew, you can not only do your own costumes, but if you ever want to take commissions, you can do that too. But I feel you. I cannot sew. I can put a button on and make it wobble, and I can like stitch up a hole or something, but like sew an outfit, nah. I'm gonna look like Gordon Gartrell, What is this? That's gonna be me. And that's true. You can nerd out about anything.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, you had like nerds and geeks and a few other words, but it's all just kind of rolled into nerd. Hyper focus, which one of the reasons I think so many nerds are ADHD is because you do have that ability, or ADHD breeds nerddom. I don't know, but you have that ability to focus on something. And so people that have, 200 and 300 Funko Pops, I'm not calling anybody out, James, but or people that collect figurines or action figures, posters. For a while I was really into collecting like statues and stuff. So yeah, all the collections. Anybody with a collection, that's your nerd thing. You're nerding out on whatever your collection is, but Amanda, if you weren't doing nerd stuff, I heard you saying you catch a strange name because you're in the background, you can't do nothing about it. And he has a wall of Funko Pop still in the box that like covers like a whole like maybe 10 feet by like maybe 8 feet tall. Yeah, it's a lot of little boxes. But Amanda, if you weren't being a nerd, what would you be doing?
Probably be dead. I don't really know, because like you said, like we can find that. And also like my day job, for like one of my many gigs that I work, I am a dog groomer or cat groomer. And, I enjoy finding all the science behind that, behind reading canine body language, reading cat body language, the science behind like, why is this coat happy? Because a lot of health issues do present them, just like human hair. A lot of health issues do present themselves through skin, coat, stuff like that. So I'm like, the coat feels different this time than 6 weeks ago. What changed at home? Or do we have a hormone imbalance? I just really don't know. I can nerd about anything. Like I've always had jobs that I've liked. I can find joy pretty much anything I do. The biggest challenge so far was Aeropostale, where I learned how to efficiently fold shirts.
I need a lesson, because the way I would just fold a shirt over on itself and ball it up and put it in a drawer. T-shirts,
fold, and you can see the logo on top.
Oh no, mine is there. I know by how faded it is which T-shirt it is.
Bring one to MomoCon. I'll show you how to fold it.
Okay, I will do. Oh wait, no, I'm not going to be at MomoCon.
Oh no,
I'm going on a trip. I'm going to South Korea.
Ooh. I mean, that's like, you'll be okay.
Yeah, in the true spirit of hyper focus, I got caught up in K-dramas 3-4 years ago now, and then I found this cute little dude named Felix online, and then I became a Stray Kids fan. And so I'm big into Stray Kids and ATs and BTS a little bit, so K-pop stuff. And I'm like, okay, I can't just be listening to all of this stuff and don't know what's going on. I like to know lyrics of music, and I like to know what's being said. So I started taking Korean, Duolingo. So not really serious, but now that I've jumped up a level and I'm actually going to South Korea with 3 of my friends in May, I'm like, all right, let me find a tutor, which I also met at Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo last year. Phil, the Blerd traveler.
Yeah. He has a soul to soul thing coming up that Sunday, March 15th. I think it's at 3. He's going to actually talk about the culture. Yeah.
Thank you for telling me, because that may be the panel we're doing together. Because I was talking to Tony about doing like a soul to soul thing, and I was like, yeah, me and Phil would rock with that. But he may have his own, in which case I may have another one. But Soul to Soul, I think, was the name I gave him. So 3:00 on Sunday, that's good to know. Thank you. I'm telling you, man, Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo is where it's at.
One stop shop.
Amanda, you mentioned something in our private chat. Yeah, we have our own group chat over here that y'all don't know about. But going back to World of Warcraft, Kimmiko, when you mentioned that you met your husband there and y'all got married, I remember seeing like the YouTube of people actually getting married as their avatars in the game. And Amanda, you said you have another group that is also the same combo of characters.
Yeah, they're the same roles. And also they were both in band together. She played oboe, he played trombone. And they met in high school, started playing in college together, got married. Now they have 6 kids, all nerds.
And the nerd family continues. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did get divorced, but I did get married on Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, really?
But it, unfortunately it's virtual. But that was my next
Baby steps.
love thing.
That's still cool though. That is still super cool. I love that you can. I love that we can do that. It's interesting because a lot of people that misunderstand what nerds really do think that we're all like antisocial. We're all socially awkward, but not like painfully so. They think that we're sitting in our basement with no sunlight and just being weird. And most of us are. I think nerdy stuff has gone mainstream over the last maybe 20-ish years.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before it used to be something you kind of like snuck and did it and didn't want to tell anybody for fear of getting bullied and ridiculed. And now we've got, young women wearing like a Naruto prom dress, which I thought was the coolest thing, and cosplay has really expanded, because everybody has I think a level of whimsy, and wanting to have fun that I think is really good. So I'm glad to see it expanding beyond the borders of niche, because
Oh, now that you said that, I met a couple that got married. They met at Conjuration, and they got married at Conjuration with cosplaying as pirates.
oh, nice. Like the following year or 2 years later. That's awesome. Yeah, see it full circle. Nerds in love, man. You gotta love it. Mark, was there any questions that you wanted to ask?
Yes, I saw a question in the live chat that I would like to ask our three guests. What is it about volunteering that attracts you to the aspect of being a volunteer? Why do you go back and do it year after year? And what is your favorite part about being a volunteer?
It's like 4 questions. But
I ad-libbed a little bit.
okay, what's your favorite part about being a nerd?
I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
I volunteer. Right now, I'm work Groomed, which is the Atlanta Pet Fair. And then I work with MomoCon and DragonCon. And I just did my first Ranger stop this last year in Atlanta. And the reason if somebody says I need help, I want to be there. I want to help so someone else can enjoy something else. That's where I guess people talk about the love language, acts of service. Let me help you enjoy your time. Let me because this is where I find my joy, is helping others. So if you need me to run these errands so you can go do something or do something else, just let me help.
Okay. I think that's wonderful. You better than me because I'll be like, I can't. Julie, what about you?
Well, actually, that's about that. A lot of that is, I feel like that too. And I really, right now, I'm just volunteering at MomoCon. My rule about volunteering at DragonCon is my youngest son has to be old enough to function on his own at DragonCon, and he's not there yet. So he's only 12. And I don't want to miss anything he's seeing or doing. So I want him to be hanging out with me. And MomoCon, he can hang out by himself. I feel a little safer about that.
Yeah.
And his brothers are around too. But I want to help. That's really what I love doing. That is why I always have ended up in, I've been a teacher. I've been worked at the zoo with the animals. I mean, things like that. I've just always want to be helping people and doing stuff. And then I like the whole behind the scenes vibe that you get being a volunteer, because there's stuff I've learned that I never would have learned if I wasn't doing media at MomoCon. I've learned so many cool things. And it's just the socialization too. We talked about that earlier, but being able to see all your buddies that you saw last year, you see them again. That's such a cool thing for me.
I agree. I look forward to seeing. I developed parasocial, I guess, friendship with, and I forgot his name because I just call him Grey Worm. But there's a guy that looks exactly like Grey Worm from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah,
I know exactly who he is.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name either, but I know who he is.
Because he looks so much like him. I'm like, your name is Grey Worm. Do you know his name, Mark?
Tyrone Edie.
Tyrone. Yeah, and every year I see him and he's got the outfit on. I was like, Grey Worm, and run up, give him a hug and everything. And he's really cool, and he's a really nice guy. He's one of the ones that, like you say, you see all the time. And one of my old not roommates, but he lived in the building I used to live in, and he just likes to come out and do like bunny hutch stuff. And so he'll show up for like Friday or Saturday, and he's like, "Hey, I'm in the Marriott, and we're doing whatever with the bunnies." And he's either doing the bunny stuff or he's doing the Mrs. Roper stuff. And I always catch him when he's like, "I'm not looking my best." I don't know when he looks his best, but whenever I see him, he won't let me take a picture with him because he's like, "I don't look the way I want to." But I see him every year at at Dragon Con. And so, yeah, like being able to reminisce. One of the other things I really like about cons, and Marc, you got a picture of it behind you, which is what made me think about it, is the photo shoots. And like, I think this was the Black Geeks of MomoCon photo shoot, right? That you have up there?
AWA. Black Geeks of AWA.
Black Geeks of AWA, yeah. And which, for those that don't know, is Anime Week in Atlanta, which happened not too long ago. But like coming together at Dragon Con to do like a Bridgerton photo shoot or a Star Trek or Star Wars, and seeing other people that are into the stuff you're into, and the intricacy of their costumes, because I don't have the skill, but it's nice to see all that kind of stuff. The other part of the question was, let me pull it back up. What was it? Oh, there's a whole lot going on. What is your favorite part about being a volunteer and why do it? I think we answered that.
I want to piggyback off something Julie said. You said you want your son Connor to be old enough to venture at Dragon Con on his own. I'm almost 40. I still feel like I need an adult when I'm at Dragon Con.
Oh, no. Well, it'll be a while then.
Don't let him fool you. Marc he doesn't need an adult. He just needs accountability.
Accountability.
Set an alarm, Marc.
Make sure you eat.
And make sure you eat. Exactly. Speaking of accountability and things going slightly wrong at cons and stuff, what are some of the funny stories that y'all have behind your nerdy exploits, like on volunteering tip or maybe?
My first year working guest operations at Dragon Con, they have markers on the floor for you to follow so you know where to go in the back hallways. Mm-hmm. My first year, so I am dead looking at these markers, and I'm at the corner looking down, and a celebrity is walking by, and I'm 5'2". Man's got to be at least a foot taller than me. He is looking straight ahead. We almost collided at the corner. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's my first day. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And he's just like, whatever. I've got places to go. But yeah, that was something that was like, oh, this is something that doesn't really happen a lot.
Right. Did you tell us who it was?
I don't know if I can or not. There's a lot of they try not to. I can tell you. Trying to think if I have any good funny stories. I was stuck on the elevator once with the voice cast of Encanto that came to Dragon Con, and I was just they're like, oh no. I was like, don't worry, this happens often. I do logistics in this hotel. We get trapped in here all the time on this elevator. I was like, sometimes you just got, and I'm just trying to, spin and keep everybody in good spirits. It's like, sometimes you just got to kick it. So I just kicked it. It worked.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, no. It'll never happen again. I promise. Don't ask me.
So you had an enchanted elevator with the Encanto.
Yes. With Odessa and I think Morrow, so that was another time I was delivering guests. There was a group, the cast of The Walking Dead. We did not have enough room in the van, so I had to run from the loading part at the Marriott up to the Westin over Labor Day weekend, and I'm like because they're like, oh, dress a little bit nicer. So like I'm in heels, huffing up that hill, and they're stuck in traffic. They're waving. They're like, you got this. Keep going. I beat them. So I was like, we're here. We made it. This is fine. And we got stuck in that elevator too.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Well, once again, I was like, don't worry, it's fine. This happens. We're not going to live here. We'll be okay.
Wow. We don't have to start eating each other just yet. Yeah.
No.
That is super cool though.
I guess my funny story, of course, always involves my children. But the year that the guy who does I just forgot his name, menopause. The guy who does Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch.
Carol
He
Spinney.
was Thank you, Carol Spinney. When he was at Dragon Con, Carter was dressed up. He was only like 2, and he was dressed up as Chucky, and which is always amusing. And we were in the panel, and Carter got very angry because he could hear the voices of the Muppets, but he couldn't see any Muppets. So he starts screaming, "No Bird, no Grouch!" And my older son had to take him out. Well, next thing I know, I stay in there with my middle son, and we come back out, and all my friends are texting me because there's Carter running around on the news as Chucky. So everybody's like, "We saw Carter, he's Chucky." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my child."
That is awesome. Not your kid making a debut on the news without you.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, "Did they even ask you if they could film him, John Clay?" And John Clay was like, "Well, I thought it'd be okay."
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you
So
go.
I used to volunteer in a lot of places, but since you guys are on Dragon Con, I used to volunteer. They always say I was in the ivory towers, but I was in security operations or safety operations in Dragon Con. So I was in dispatch. And one thing you don't know about that is that we're always watching you. So the year that guy, remember the UPS Joe guy,
Yeah.
Frank? Oh my God. Like watching all the Discord feeds and everything, and we're just like looking at all these screens and looking at all the feedback that was going on with the googly eyes and everything. It was hilarious. I was like, oh my God. And they're like, should we do something about this? There's nothing that can be done.
So y'all could see them on the cameras, like leaving stuff and putting stickers.
Well, not cameras, no. It's more like we can see all the social medias. We see all like the reports and everything that's going on and see what's going on. And it was just like you're just watching and you're steadily just quietly watching and watching people just do the things, you know. It was hilarious. So.
You've got the good stories, and unfortunately, probably can't tell a lot of them on here.
That actually takes us into our next question, which is, this is broad reaching, so any kind of thing, but are there any nerdy secrets that you use that men don't know about?
I mean, if we tell them, then they're not secrets. I'm not giving away. I'm not trying to out the girlies here.
True. We might have to gatekeep that one.
Yeah. If you know, you know. How about that?
You can tell me. I'm one of the listeners.
Can't tell you.
You could be compromised at some point.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I have to tell you. Yeah.
I just saw an unpublished writer say third shift safety at Hilton is where it's at. I'm just saying. You know, I was at Hilton for a few years, third shift safety. Yeah, it's, oh my God. Bunny Hutch. That's all I got to say.
The bunny, that's what my friend is. You probably had to pull him out of something before. Yeah, because he's a rowdy one. So are there any nerdy secrets that men don't know about? Yes.
Okay. I have one.
No. That's all we're doing. We're just doing yes.
Oh, well, I'm gonna say
we're not gonna say all that. No.
I got one good one that we can share.
Okay.
The girls' bathroom, greatest place ever to be. At any space. If I ever need a pick me up, I'm just walking into a girl's bathroom and I know there's girls. Oh, you look so great. Hype me up. We're gonna hyping each other up in there all the time. Somebody brought a speaker once, and there was like a little party in the girls' bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Nice. So I'm like, let's go. No boys. I love it.
Yes, you're right about that. I have had the best times, especially when like something's going wrong with your costume. You're talking about like women just surrounding you. It's like somebody's got a hairpin, a safety pin, somebody's got tape, somebody's telling you it's gonna be okay. Somebody's walking behind you if something rips Because like I said, my first rogue costume, the zipper came loose and that was bad. And they're like, we got you. And so ultimately what we ended up doing was stapling it up the back because it worked. And we couldn't, and then and you're right, we were in the women's restroom at whichever hotel they take the pictures at. Because it was not too long after we took the Black Geeks Dragon Con picture that I just felt a breeze on my back. And I was like, oh God. And
I think that's the Hilton.
The Hilton. So now tell us about, these are not girly secrets, but tell us about third shift at Hilton. What y'all be doing?
I'm just saying, third shift at Hilton is a nice place. Because first off, compared to all so I used to do Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt, right? I ain't gonna lie, Hyatt, you got the commissary next to you, so it's great. But Hilton, they got the snacks. When I say the snacks, you're never hungry.
That's good to know. So yeah, you have to run around looking for stuff, because I know there have been a couple times where if you're not back there, you're not behind the scenes, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and the best you can do is a vending machine or the CVS if it's open late. You end up eating like candy bars and vitamin water at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Third shift Marriott, though, it's where the magic happens. So that's where you see all the stuff that I can't talk about, but it's so cool. It's almost like you're watching like a reality TV show or one of those like doctor shows. There's always something crazy and cool going on.
It does sound cool. Yeah. So, question I have for everyone, anybody can answer. What is a fantasy of yours? PG-13, but what is a fantasy of yours? Like something you want to do, somewhere you want to go, something you want. If you had all the money, you would do this. What's on your mind? Tell us your fantasies here. Like
mine's simple. I know mine's. My fantasy would actually, because I volunteer at so many cons, from Dragon Con. A lot of the other ones, if I didn't volunteer, I got paid to do work there. So DreamHack, I volunteered at, what's it called? No, I never volunteered at AWA. I volunteered at a lot of stuff, but one of my biggest things I would like fantasy-wise is I actually would like to become a showrunner and have my own con.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
That's doable. You can absolutely do that. You said you're already half co-host of Atlanta Sci-Fi Expo, right? Just take over.
Yeah. No, I want KimmyCon. KimmyCon needs to come out.
That is a great name. That is a great name. I would come to KimmyCon.
I would too.
Oh, good question. Any tips or tricks? Well, before we do that, anybody else wanted to answer the fantasy question?
Mine, honestly, is to move away from, I would like to move abroad. I would like to be able to do that and be able to I would have to take my ex-husband and everybody with me because I can't separate Carter from his dad. But in Julie's dream world, we could all just go and move to Iceland or somewhere cool like that. That would be awesome.
Iceland is beautiful. Yeah,
I've heard.
I wholly support you moving to Iceland.
Yeah, that was Carter's pick, so he's the little one. So I was like, that's what that would be my fantasy.
Okay. Manda?
I'm sorry, I'm very cheesy, but I'm really just I'm doing great right now. Like if I'm a nerd. I'm getting, I get paid to go to dog shows and hang out with other people's dogs and
cool.
Look at dogs, talk about dogs. I get paid to go to a farm, take care of people's horses, take care of them. Pizza. I don't get paid to eat pizza yet. I get paid to hang out with band kids. I love music and work with orchestras. And I guess maybe if money wasn't, fantasy world, I would have more acreage so I could have more chickens, like some goats, maybe something.
All right, I'm with that. More acreage for more chickens. Hey, look, if your life is doing well, you want for nothing. There's nothing wrong with having like a small dream. Like, just do this. I think if my fantasy is to have my own talk show.
Oh,
I would
that
love
be
to
awesome.
do like a J HUD or like a old school Oprah. Because I'm an executive coach by day, so I have like my life coaching certifications and everything, and just be sitting there, talking people in and out of doing stuff, fixing lives.
I'll come on your show.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to come on.
Yes, we're gonna actually. Mark and I have been talking about starting a show with the Supreme Attorney because when she and I get together, you're never really sure what's about to happen, and so
I'll definitely help produce that show.
There she goes.
Yes. There we go. And so my dream begins. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Okay, so going back, do y'all have any tips and tricks to surviving a con weekend? Because it can start as early as Thursday morning and go till like Monday, right? So how do you live through it?
Lots of caffeine, lots of water.
I'm naps. I'm team nap.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
As I've
one.
gotten older, naps are the way.
Definitely team nap. Once you're like in a certain age in your 30s and all that walking, you get exhausted and overstimulated. Go take a nap.
Don't be scared to buy stuff like prior to the con. Go to the grocery store and grab like your waters, your things, and also don't be scared to grab a pair of Crocs. Or a pair of like really comfortable shoes that you can just like bring with you, because it's like he said, the walking is.
Y'all gotta explain Crocs to me, because I have like slid my foot into one at the store at DSW whatever before, and they just feel so uncomfortable. I'm not understanding. Like, do they break in over time? How long does it take?
Are you wearing socks, or are you just going in there?
I think I was raw dogging it because I was
okay. I don't know if we could say that online, but okay.
Oh yeah, it's fine. But yeah, and so I just like, let me slide my foot in this Croc, and all I felt was like a bed of nails. And I was like, why?
Do a sock. Wear some socks with them. Socks with Crocs. It's okay.
I'm absolutely not going to do that. That just looks ugh. No.
I have another suggestion.
Okay. Because I don't like flip-flops either. So socks and Crocs just sounds like
I always say never be afraid to check out the hotel pool, because my Carter and I, every Saturday at Dragon Con after the parade, it's just too much for us. We are hanging out at it's not the Sheraton anymore. I don't know what it is called. But that hotel, what's it called?
Cortland Grand.
The Cortland Grand. They have the best pool. They have the best pool. The Omni hotels. But we always take time to go hang out at the hotel pool every once in a while. And that's always it gives you a break. There's not as many people up there, and you still can talk about nerdy stuff because all the people there are for the con anyway.
I never thought about that. I never thought about going to the pool.
I know Wednesdays I'll usually go to the Marriott pool and hang out after setting up. So it's nice.
It's a good one too. We've done that one as well.
I'm going to have to do that. I've never done a pool at the hotels, and I know they're there. I just, I'll be busy trying to, I don't know, walk around and spend all my money in the vendor's fair.
Oh yeah, that too.
I think the Cortland Grand at Dragon Con, they host a cosplay pool party somewhere. A mermaid.
It's the mermaids.
Yeah, they do. And they do pinups by the pool.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta do that one then.
Yeah. I do that one sometimes.
Okay. New things for me to check out. Awesome. So I saw this Osmerican Amy said, I think it's Osmerican Amy said, silver lining to being disabled, mobility scooter. I'm here for it. Quick side story. I'm in a sorority, and we have like our national conventions every couple of years and whatnot, Delta Sigma Theta. And we have this thing called the Delta Deers. Delta Deers are like 62 and older, I believe, or it could be 65 and older. Anyway, the old lady gang be in the scooters, and they come either with their scooter or they get the scooters from the hotel or the convention center, wherever we are. And there will be like, they roll deep, like was it the rolling 60s? Like there's like 5-10 of them at a time, and they just in a line or in twos, just and they come up on you. And because they're deers, they have like a VIP status. They get into every event early, and if you don't move, your toes will be squished.
Oh no.
Zero F's about you and your sandals. And if you don't get out of the way, they give you this look. And like when they come by you, yeah, it's real threatening. But hats off to the mobility scooter. I'm here for it. Yeah, anything that helps you get around. I also do like that about the cons that I've attended is they have been very inclusive. They have above and beyond as far as regulations, like ADA regulations and stuff go, like even having like posters that say, if you don't feel safe, find a person here. Cosplay is not consent. Like I love all that kind of stuff to make sure everybody feels like they can have a good time and enjoy it without being overly burdened. So if any of y'all had anything to do with the signage, hats off to you for making sure that everybody felt good. Because I'm sure a woman did it. I'm 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So one other thing I wanted to ask is, what do y'all have on the horizon? What do you have coming up? I know we mentioned the Sci-Fi Expo, but what else is going on for you this quarter, this year? Anything big coming up?
The biggest thing coming up for me is I'm starting doula training next month. So I'm very excited to become one. Because my whole life, all I wanted to do was be a mom. Like I have a fancy college degree and I just wanted to be a mom with it. But see, now I can help other people be moms. So I'm very excited to start. I can't wait.
I'm super excited for that too, because I've seen the research on like the maternal mortality rates in the United States, and it's atrocious because
yes.
healthcare is trash.
Yes.
So I'm here for it. Congratulations. And what made you decide? I know you said you wanted to help other people be moms, but what made you decide to actually?
Two things. Well, three really. Well, first thing is my favorite cousin actually is a doula and owns her own doula agency and has been asking me for years to do it with her. But what really made me say I'm doing it now was my very best friend just had a baby back in January, and she did it all on her own because she's a lesbian and she had the IVF treatment and all that. She got to pick out the sperm donor and all that fun stuff. So I helped her through her pregnancy, and I've been there with her. And then I've also been nannying for a family up near Truist Park, and that particular family, the mom did not have any, I guess her mom never taught her much about how to be a mom. So I have been working with her a lot and helping her with the baby. And that was just so much fun for me that I was like, I should do this all the time now instead of just 3 days a week.
I love it. That's awesome.
That's what started it.
You're going to be out there saving lives, man. That's wonderful.
Hope so.
Anybody else? What do y'all got coming up? Amanda?
Like I said, the month of March is the month of dog shows. I'm working here in Atlanta, groomed at the Atlanta Pet Fair, and then at the end of March, I'll be going to Puppalooza in Buffalo, New York, and I'll be getting 2 certifications there: how to work with geriatric dogs and a difficult dog certification course. And between that, as far as non-professional things, I'm going to go see a Baby No Money concert in Atlanta. This is an internet rapper I found while playing Peak. He had this virtual show on the video game. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then I'll be going to a Broadway rave on the 15th. A little promo. If anyone's interested in volunteering for Dragon Con, they are having their volunteer meeting in person on the 14th, this Saturday, next weekend. Go on the website, find details. If you are attending the sci-fi convention, you can go online and look at it from your phone while you're at another con, so you don't even have to skip it.
I was just thinking about that. Like they did that on purpose, but no, that's okay. Cool.
They're aware that the cons will go on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Okay. And finally, Kimmiko.
Of course. I got a lot of stuff. Of course, we got the Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo coming up March 14th and 15th. And I forgot to mention that we're going to also have on the 14th live performers, like youth performers at 1 o'clock at the food court. But in addition to that, I do a lot of other events. So kind of lined up is we have some the road to MomoCon with Soulplay. So they're going to have some 2XKO tournaments where you can win MomoCon tickets. So check out Soulplay Gaming for that. And then we have the Picture Friend Atlanta dating thing on March 27th. And then after that, I have a lot of other like really cool like activations, but some that I can talk about is we're going to have an Afro X festival at Cameron Park, and we're going to have the ATL Hip Hop Day Festival during the same time as Dragon Con. And but it's right down the street. So if you want to take a break and you want to go over there where Ponce City Market is, we're at the park across the street from there. Okay. And it's all those are free. And ultimately, as the time goes by and goes turn back around, there's the new gaming director for Con Possible. And I'm telling you guys this, is it not till next February, but the cosplay theme is My Friend the Atom. So imagine Atom Punk and Retro Punk. So like Fantastic Four and Fallout put together. So if you guys are into that kind of cosplay, then I say definitely check out Con Possible.
Okay. I've been thinking about doing like a little steampunk cosplay, so it might work from the Fallout side of things. Okay, cool. Well, ladies, I know that we're coming up. We were trying to shoot for like an hour and a half, give or take. And I know a couple of y'all have to go soon. So I just want to say, well, Marc, I'm going to give you a chance if there's any final questions that you have or final statements.
I don't have any final statements. Well, actually, I do. I've worked with every single one of you at various cons as a volunteer or media outlet. So I just personally want to thank each of you. Thank you so much for making my personal con experience behind the scenes and in front of the scenes memorable. And thank y'all for the help. Julie and Manda, both of y'all have helped me out a lot. Manda, sorry we were so loud at Dragon Con Press Corps, but it was fun and we was having a blast. But I
when
heard
were you loud?
the whole time apparently. But it's cool. We had fun.
I didn't hear anything about it. They didn't tell me.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it's not here nor there. I had a blast. I know Joy had a blast. I know Angie had a blast. The parade from that vantage point was just chef's kiss. I'll never march in the parade.
Y'all did so great with your commentary. Oh my gosh. If I could have just stayed there the whole time, please.
So that's when I say Chaos Twins, me and her, that's going to be us. So we're hoping to get like officially be able to cover the parade. That would be so cool.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I would watch that.
Yes, that would be so cool. But again, thank you all so much. Kimmiko, I'm going to see you next week at ASFE. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be a long weekend that weekend. But everybody, Blerdcon is this weekend. Blerdcon is going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. We're probably going to go live. Speaking of going live, join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for another very special episode of Blerdkast Live, where we will be exclusively talking about all things Atlanta Sci-Fi Fantasy Expo with Kimmiko, Tony Cade, and DTM. And eventually one of us will get the name right and stop messing it up. Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo Live tomorrow at 8 p.m. I'll see y'all there. But until then, I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Yeah. Be somebody tonight, yeah. Love it how you move it, how you wind it up. We can jump into it, we can line it up. We can stay slow with you, me. We can stay slow with you, me. Yeah. Be somebody tonight, doing that dance, digging that dance. I love. Be somebody tonight. Be somebody tonight. Pull up on me. We've got so much to see. Maybe I can show you now. Tear your top with the top down. Baby, I don't wanna hit the friend zone. Throw it like calm in the end zone. When you're right back, I'm local.